Once when I was speaking to a group, I was specifically asked about the action plan in the title of my book, An Action Plan for People Disgusted by Polarized Politics. What was my plan, I was asked. It occurred to me that others might like a synopsis of that plan, so here it is. I want to help Americans overcome polarized politics. To do so, I believe Americans must change their approach to politics by exploring and defining their political philosophy. I am not trying to tell people what to believe. I'm trying to help people get in touch with what they do believe and then give them the tools to be able to stand up for what they believe and yet still be able to find common ground with other people with whom they disagree. The surprise is that we agree about a lot more things than we disagree about. But there is profit to be made from making us think we disagree, however, and so disagreement is perpetuated. When you have a car whose wheels are out of alignment and tires are out of balance, as is our political process, you take that car to a shop. The shop puts the car through a procedure in order to correct those problems and make the car run smoothly again. In the same way, I am trying to put you through a procedure that cause you to explore and define your political philosophy. Here are the steps of my procedure. First of all, to make you resistant to manipulation, better known as spin, by media and politicians. Right now, I find that people are issue and personality focused with regard to politics. This makes people highly susceptible to spin. I counteract this by showing you ways to be principle-centered with regard to politics. Political parties and candidates are represented by human beings. Human beings are flawed. They will let you down. Principles are timeless and unchanging. When you are grounded in principles, then you can remain focused on your values, regardless of the spin you're exposed to. Second step, show others how to be resistant to manipulation. My book has several ways for you to interact with other people, current representatives, and potential representatives in a principle-centered way that seeks to drive consensus, not conflict. Conflict is inevitable, but we can learn to manage conflict better. The more people who learn to think this way, the less polarized politics will be effective, the more problems we will solve, and the better life will be as a citizen of this country. My third step, demand what you want instead of taking what you're offered. As long as you are issue and personality oriented, you will be pushed in the direction others want you to go, and that direction may not be good for you. Being principle oriented will enable you to sort through the rhetoric and speaking up on behalf of those principles will help create consensus towards solutions that, as I write in the book, do the most good for the largest amount of people for the longest period of time, as balanced against doing the least possible damage to the fewest amount of people for the shortest period of time, and is the best solution we can have with the available dollars, giving competing priorities. Fourth step, learn to recognize and neutralize those issues and groups that perpetuate spin in politics and polarization in politics. Remember that moment in The Wizard of Oz when the curtain was pulled back and the wizard was exposed for the fraud he was? That was the moment when the actual problem solving began. Similarly, by becoming principle-centered politically, you will be better able to recognize and expose those with issues and agendas which, though well-intentioned, are keeping consensus from being achieved and progress from being made. I do all this with a book and a blog that I intend to be easy to read and understand. In fact, I'm often told that the book is funny in places which I intended. If I get criticism, it is usually from two sources. Political scientists tell me that the book is not academically rigorous enough. Well, that's okay with me. I don't want my book to be rigorous for you to read. I want it to be easy, so a lot of people will read it. It's based on the variety of experience I've had with the exceptional people and organizations I've been associated with. What that means to you is that you're going to find practical ideas that work, not pie in the sky. The second criticisms I get are from my way or the highway ideologues at both ends of the political spectrum. You know, one of my favorite quotations is from Robert Burns. A wad to give to geas, to see ourselves as either see us. And to give you kind of the English translation instead of the Gaelic. the Gaelic, would the good Lord give us the opportunity to see ourselves as others see us. Unfortunately, there are sometimes people who are active politically who refuse to see themselves as others see them. These are people who refuse to acknowledge that there could be another point of view and the potential negative ripple impacts of implementing the solutions they advocate. Such people, in my opinion, lose their vote and their influence in discussion of issues due to their inflexibility. Why they have that inflexibility is the topic someday for another one of my entries here. Overall, I think what I'm trying to do is have the following influences. If you are strongly affiliated with one of the two major political parties, then I want to show you some perspectives on what you need to do to attract independent voters like me. Remember that, like it or not, it is attracting the undecided, centrist swing vote that makes the difference in each and every election. If you are an independent voter, even if you only have a passing interest in politics, then I want to show you some perspectives on how you can make your voting choices in a more effective and efficient way. I also want to show you how, despite the many demands that I know exist on your time today in your busy life, to exert the maximum influence on the political process with a minimal investment of time and effort on your part. One guarantee I can make you with absolute certainty. If we make no changes, if you do nothing, then nothing will change. It's only when we begin to reach out and seek new challenges and new ways of thinking and new ideas that things will begin to change. There's a man that I like to listen to named Jim Rohn. And Jim is an extraordinary individual with quite a unique philosophy of life and on success. And Rohn says that when he was age 25, broke, and behind on his big mouth promises to his wife and his children, it never would have occurred to him to blame his philosophy. Instead, he blamed everything else around him for the circumstances he was encountering. Now, could it be for us, when you think about it, politics today is all about who to fear and who to blame. Instead, what Rohn says, that when I changed my philosophy, everything changed for me. And could it be for us, as the body politic, as the citizens of this country, that if we will change our philosophy politically, that everything will change for us? And that's what I'm all about. See you next time.